Hey guys, I'm the Coaster Keat, and as of tomorrow, I'm going to be back to regular uploads. Uploads kind of halted for a bit because not only was I dealing with moving back home due to the whole COVID-19 situation, but I was at the same time, and I mean the exact same time, dealing with an organic chemistry exam and several other things that just kind of ambushed me along with the virus, so I got extremely busy. And so today, what I wanted to talk about, just briefly, and then we'll get the issue pretty much off the table, is just the COVID-19 situation and how it's affected me personally. Now, this video might be interesting to some of you, but I'm mostly making it kind of as a time capsule to all future people, including future me, to look back on and be like, oh, that's what it was like to be in the whole COVID-19 era, because I feel like it's going to be a little hard to remember just the feeling of it as compared to all of the things that happened during it. It's a lot easier to say, yeah, I remember when there was a run on the stores for toilet paper and everyone was fighting over it, versus, yeah, I remember the feeling of the time. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Starting tomorrow, if you are here for AI Dungeon, oh boy, we will have AI Dungeon tomorrow, and then we're going to be continuing with a pretty regular upload schedule for those. As far as any of that goes, just getting it out of the way, it's going to be AI Dungeon every other day, and then either another video game or some sort of me in person story thing. I don't know if it's going to be a story or a scripted rambling or whatever, but that's the kind of pattern I try to keep up on the channel. So if you want to see that, you can go ahead and subscribe, and I don't tell you to ring the bell like other YouTubers, and that is for a reason, because this channel has two very different styles. So if you like a specific style, then you should subscribe, because then YouTube will notify you when that style comes out. Anyways, that is enough rambling. Let's go ahead and get into it. So when the COVID-19 situation first started off, of course, it was called coronavirus. And when it was called coronavirus, the first time I heard it talked about was in water polo. It was in one of the practices right before we went on winter break. Right around that time, I heard someone talking about COVID, or coronavirus, and talking about how they were concerned about traveling to a certain part of the US because there had been reported cases of coronavirus there. And I heard my teammate assure them that no, it's going to be fine, coronavirus is not that serious, so don't worry about it. Fast forward a couple of months, and I decided to go ahead and make the video on coronavirus after one of you so kindly suggested that I do so. I did some preliminary research, realized it was way out of my reach as far as a subject goes, and then decided to just kind of make a fun kind of video doing Plague Inc. It was in that Plague Inc. video that personally I started to realize a little bit of the severity of the coronavirus, because in that video you see the virus spread everywhere. And although I am emphatic to say that yes, this is because there wasn't prevention, this is because the WHO didn't say anything until this point, and that is true, it is also true that that same kind of spread is similar to what we've been seeing for the coronavirus, and that is why it's been so terrifying. Fast forward another month from the time I make that video, and that was when the entire world kind of exploded when it came to coronavirus. It started out with Italy being hit very hard, and then more and more countries in Europe getting hit very hard. And of course, then it came to the point where it started hitting America. And when it started hitting America, I was with one of my parents, and we were talking about it just kind of casually, and then suddenly I got the notification on my phone that said, coronavirus, shut everything down, like everything is being shut down. That was pretty much the notification I got, and the rest of the conversations with my parents from then on out have just been about coronavirus. Sometimes we'll have a nice little tangent into, I don't know, how lovely the weather is, or what musicals are good, or something like that, but most of the time what we are talking about is coronavirus, or COVID-19 as it eventually got named. Now, I, at first, did not have a problem with this disease, and I still don't seem to have as much of a problem with it as some people. Personally, I am not terrified of the disease because I realize what it is, but I do share that fear of possibly getting it and then transmitting it in some way and then causing harm that way. That is the main fear that I have, and the main fear that I think a lot of other people who are trying to do as much self-quarantine as they possibly can share. When I went back to campus, it was because my familial situation just straight up did not work for being at home. It just wasn't possible. Things were not set up in a way that would make it possible. But the situation evolved to an extent that it forced my parents to find a way to make it possible for me to be home. And I will admit that at first I didn't think that going home would be a bad thing. I thought, yeah, it's fine to be at home. I'll be able to do my work. I'll be able to focus. Like, we'll figure stuff out. And for the most part, that is true because my parents have been extremely, and I mean extremely supportive of everything I want to do. And so it is not any of their fault that when I'm at home, there's just a different dynamic in my own mind when it comes to what I'm doing with my time. And I don't know if that's because when I'm at college, there's literally nothing else that I can possibly do except watch stuff by myself, do social activity, or be productive. But there's something about being at home that just makes it so much harder to sit down and do something productive. It's still fine to go ahead and watch YouTube and then be semi-productive alongside it, but whenever I try to sit down and do a homework assignment or something like that, it's just so much harder to concentrate. And again, not by any fault of anyone else, it's just something mentally that's just a pure struggle, because whenever I think I should work on that essay that's going to be due soon, there's a similarly strong force in my mind that says, no, I should go and do nothing for a while, or no, I should go and exercise, or no, I should go and socialize. It's almost like all of those options that are always there, are just so much more prevalent and so much easier to go to than ever before. And I think that this mindset is partially due to the fact that when I was in high school, homework was pretty much non-existent. The last time that I did homework was in middle school, and then of course when I got to college, homework became a reality again. But because I had those 4 years where whenever I came home, it was just sit down and do nothing. Just sit down, relax. Maybe you have a project to work on for an hour or something. Maybe you have some homework. But for the most part, just sit down, relax, kick up your feet, and do nothing. And so for me, that mindset is just, it's horribly constricting. And trying to get back into a sort of pattern where I still manage to do everything that I want to do, like doing these YouTube videos, like socializing with my friends, like keeping up with the D&D sessions that are being done online. I still want to do that, but it just becomes so much harder because if I choose not to be productive in one situation, then eventually I'm going to get to the point where either I do the thing with the homework or I do the social thing. And if I choose not to do the homework, then I will, inevitably get a bad grade in the class. This situation is not helped by the fact that all the classes are online, because even in high school, there was this designated time where you were just in a classroom, where you were in this nice, quiet setting. It was very difficult to be distracted because I, as a student, was not someone that tended to go online and look up YouTube videos and distract myself. Not saying that's wrong exactly, but I'm just saying that wasn't the way that I did school. When I was at school, it was very easy for me to be in a very concentrated mindset, and I never really understood those people that would just be going and doing something else during that time, because in my mind, by doing something else in school time, you were taking away from your own, personal time when you got home. Anyways, because of all of that, in this situation that I now find myself, I find it very hard to do much of anything, because besides the time where I am literally face to face with my instructors thanks to Zoom, I just don't have the proper incentives. And even when I'm face to face with Zoom, it's so much easier to look over to my side and to see my Nintendo Switch, or to see my phone, or to see my computer, or to see my TV, and to be like, they probably won't notice if I go ahead and do that. And I have to constantly have this mental battle where I'm just fighting myself and I'm saying, no, you're not allowed to play Pokemon Mystery Dungeon during your OChem lecture. You're going to fail if you do that. Or no, you can't just go ahead and try to do something else while this is happening. It's just a constant, and I mean a constant struggle that I've never really experienced before. And it's something that I really didn't expect to happen with the whole virus situation, because when I was in the college dorm, it was one thing, because I'm used to doing online classes there, and so it's a certain mindset that I have, but being here at home just makes it hard for some reason, and I'm not really sure why that is. So that's my situation and my frustration with COVID-19 and what it's done to my entire situation. That is the situation as it is now. As it is now, I'm going to be at my parents' house for the foreseeable future, all the way up into the summer, and then hopefully I'll be back on campus come the fall, where I'm going to be able to resume my regularly scheduled adulting and, live my life. But for now, it's a reality that I am working on coming to terms with. So that is where it is. There will be one more COVID-19 video that I can promise you is coming. That is going to be just an overview of what campus was like, because I videoed all of that on the day I had to go and get my lab supplies out of my lab locker. I went ahead and toured campus and took video all the time, regardless of how awkward it was. So that video is going to be coming up soon, but coming next is going to be AI Dungeon and a ton more fun stuff, including the video that I shot with my friends before the whole COVID-19 thing blew up out of proportion. So if you are one of the closer people to me that's watching this and you also enjoy the other videos, look forward to that. If you know me, I am in the area that I used to live, so if you want to call up and do a Zoom call or record any videos like that, let me know, because I will have more time than ever before, and it is significantly easier to do stuff if you have someone else to do it with. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching and for listening to me ramble. If you are also experiencing a similar circumstance due to COVID, don't feel afraid to reach out to other people, and don't feel afraid to do what you can to make your situation the best that it possibly can. If you feel like you can get help by talking in the comments, you can, and I will respond to any questions or any concerns like that, because obviously I can understand the pressure that it is. If you don't want to talk to me, that's fine too. I'm sure go ahead and talk to your other resources, because there are definitely resources out there. That is the one thing that my university has made crystal clear to me. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And I hope that despite the virus and despite everything that's going on right now, that you all soar high and enjoy your ride of life. Bye!